So now we've finished the build, what we need to do is get it all set up. And first of all, you're going to need a USB micro to plug into the back here. I'm leaving this out just so you guys can see it and we can show you the bind process. So first thing is first, you're going to want to plug a battery in really quickly 3 times. This is the easiest way of doing it if you haven't got a bind phrase and you don't know what a bind phrase is for ELRS. So that's now going to start flashing double quick. And as you can see there, it is now in bind mode. So what we do now is we turn on our controller and we bind it. And we'll use the trusty TX15 because it's the easiest to sort of see on camera. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to press system and then we're going to go to our Express Lure script, Express LRS Lure script. Wait till it loads, scroll down to the bottom and we're going to press bind. Now if you look here, there's a couple of tells. First of all, it should give you an audible information to tell you that it's bound, but this, where there's a line there, that will then change to a C, and also the flashing will then go to a solid. So we can see now the flashing has changed and it's gone solid. It said telemetry connected and it also says C there. So we are now connected. What we can now do is we can now move into Betaflight and set up our switches and make sure that our control surfaces are all the right way around. So let's do that without further ado. So we're going to hit connect and it's going to tell us we don't have any presets or anything like that set up. So we're just going to hit calibrate accelerometer, although we're not actually on the level here. So let's just level this out a little bit to this isn't really going to be a massive issue, but we'll do it anyway. And then we'll offset to make sure that that goes forward, that goes back, that goes left, that goes right. We also need to make sure our motor direction is the right way around as well. But the most important thing that we do at this moment in time is get this unplugged, because obviously everything's heating up. So we need to go into receiver. We need to make sure our control surfaces are first of all responding, which they're not. And the reason why they're not is because if we go into setup and ports, we don't have our UART selected for where we put our ELRS receiver onto. UART number 3 will be our MSP. There we go. So our roll is our roll, our pitch is our pitch, and they go in the right way. And our yaw and throttle are all good. So the most important thing we do now is add an arm. And to be honest, at this moment in time, we'll just add an arm and a pre-arm. I don't really need anything else on this. Click hard on use modes, go to auto for arm, throw our switch, move it to where you want it to be, and then pre-arm, change to auto, throw our switch to where it needs to be, and then hit save. And then I'm going to unplug it and I'm just going to tidy it up a little bit. And then what we're going to do is apply our presets and make sure our motors are going the right way, etc, etc, and also charge our TX15. So while that charges, we're just going to have a quick look around Betaflight and get everything else set up. So on here, we're going to need to make sure we select VTX, MSP and DisplayPort, because that's where we've soldered it into. We also need to go down here and change this to 180 degrees arming, because this is a brand new board. This is not going to have it set to 180 degrees by the manufacturer, because Betaflight default, for some reason, even today, is 25. I don't know why, to be completely honest with you. We haven't got a GPS on it at the moment, but we need air mode and we need OSD, so we'll hit save and reboot there. Our PID tuning, well, we haven't actually got a PID tune on, so what we're going to do, we don't really know what our parameters want or need to be. Well, thankfully, this is where TuneRC coming up trumps, because they've told me to apply this preset. So if we type in FPV cycle and we're looking for the FPV cycle Toothpick 3 3S mouse FPV. Now then, what do we need to select here? So do we want D-Shot? Well, we'll go with D-Shot 300. Front back lip, we don't need to worry about any of them, and we'll just click apply. And that will now apply a tune. Now, as always, whenever you apply a tune in Betaflight, you just need to make sure that what it applies is safe. So on your first pack, go really slowly on the throttle, just take it nice and easy, nice and slow. And obviously after you've done that, come back and land, make sure the motors are not hot, and if everything's all good to go, start ripping. But do just check your motors after a harder flight as well, just to make sure that they're not hot or they're not making any sort of shrilling noises. So now we've got our PID tune applied and our filters applied. I don't need to tell you guys to save this because you just apply that preset. Now it's a case of adding whatever you want as your rates. So BoywonderFPV is going to be flying this, and before we really ramp it up, we'll just have the rates fairly slow, and we'll add 0.2 expo on for him. So the only thing I really need on here is battery average cell voltage. Everything else we don't need to touch at this moment in time. It's now just a case of getting your batteries charged, adding your props, and away you go. But what I would just recommend, because it is a new build, is to check your prop directions. So you do that in motors. Now I run props out, so first of all I'm going to change it to props out, and then you need to plug a battery and make sure you do not have props on at this moment in time. Let me just turn the camera on to prove that I do not, because I know sometimes when I tell you not to, I do, but this is really important that you don't. And as you can see, I don't have my props on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a battery in, and then I'm going to get the motors to spin and just make sure they spin in the right direction. You can add a piece of paper to it to see which way it flies. I just generally put my hands around the bells, just slowly, very lightly, and you can feel which way they're moving. But it is imperative for all the jokes and all the laughs that we have on the channel, and it is all about entertainment. It is so important. Whatever you do not do this with props on, because all it takes is for one short or one slip of the mouse to go full throttle on all four props, and yeah, don't ask me how I know, by the way. Right, let's move on. So now I've turned that camera off so I can concentrate. The way we do this in here is, first of all, we click I understand the risks, and then we can move this one first of all. So that's going the right way, and then we'll see what number 3 is going. Number 3 is going the right way. I think I've done these so that they're okay actually. Number 1 is going the right way. And number 2 is going the right way. Just double check everything. And then just do a very quick ramp up to make sure that you didn't get any errors here, of which there were none. So that means our soldering and everything is good. Our tune should be good. So it is literally now just a case of popping the props on and going flying. So I'm going to stop this video, stick some props on, and I'll see you out at the field. We have done our maiden flight with this drone, and when we did the maiden flight, it looked okay on the goggles, but checking the footage, it doesn't look okay, and I think we may be set to the wrong hertz on the flight controller. So the DJI stuff needs to be at 48 kilohertz. So we'll have a look and see what we are looking at. Let's read some settings first of all. 24 kilohertz. So it makes perfect sense what is actually going on here. So we're not going to change these, but what we are going to do is we're going to click flash all. Now we're going to keep whatever we're on. We're on PH25. We don't necessarily need to change the version, so we can keep it at 21, which is the most recent anyway. But we're going to change that to 48, and we're going to hit flash, and it's going to flash all 4 of them, and they'll be in the same order, and everything will be the same. But your footage won't look like this. Instead, it should look like this. I'm just going to show you how to flash a melody to your flight controller, just so it has a little bit of difference. Now you can manually type them in, and I've shown you how to do that on previous videos, but for this one we're just going to pick something, and I've got BoywonderFPV with me, so we're going to pick Guns N' Roses' Sweet Child of Mine. We're going to click accept and write melodies, and then that has done. So once that's done, if I now press disconnect and bring this over to the microphone, and it gives it a little bit of a personality, just for you. YouTube and I have had a chat, and we believe that this is the video that you'll like the most, so watch it and let me know if they're right.